Hi, everyone. Thanks for logging in and taking another Tuesday for mindful movement. We'll start sitting. Whew, I hope I can talk better for the next 45 minutes. We'll start sitting or lying on your back. So as always, giving ourselves the first few moments just to drop in and slow down, reconnect to coming back to ourselves. So as you find whatever shape you decide on, just giving yourself a moment or two. You might observe and feel the transition from being busy to slowing down and pausing. And when you feel your connection to that pause, when your physical body feels still, just give yourself a moment to feel the ground beneath you. You might notice the relationship of the ground, of the earth to your body. The relationship of your body releasing and letting go into that strength, into that stability of the earth. And the relationship of your body to grounding, to your anchor, to stability. And adding that relationship to your breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. As we all seek our own unique connection to grounding and stability, how does that affect your breathing? As you become more anchored and grounded, do you feel it's easier to breathe? Is it a little easier to have awareness and ease around your breath? As you connect to feeling grounded and anchored, what does it do? What does that relationship do with your mind? Does your mind soften a little? Is it easier for your mind to follow your breathing? Is it easier for you to have awareness and focus? Just pausing to come inward, noticing and feeling. Noticing your breath, your body, each one of us having our own unique experience, right? Each one of us feeling something similar but very different. So we'll pause here for a few moments, maybe 5 to 10 breaths in silence. Just exploring that relationship, grounding, breathing, awareness, and focus. And then here, as you come back to your present time experience, just following a full exhale, all the way from the beginning, through the middle, all the way to that pause point right before your inhale. And then we'll gently open your eyes. And if you're on your back, you'll roll on over. If you're seated, we're gonna find our way into tabletop. So you can have tabletop on a chair. I don't have a chair ready, but you can come on up and be up higher and standing on a table. We're just gonna find tabletop, and we're gonna each one of us be a little creative and just waking up mind to muscle here, to bone into the wrist, okay? So we're gonna build your table and then just be creative. Try and keep your table nice and strong, right? You can use our alignment points, ears as high as shoulders, shoulders down out of ears, shoulders as high as hips, right? So you're keeping that strong table, and then you can walk your hands and arms out. You could go really far out in front of you. You could walk back, right? So you might feel the relationship, right, of the arms to your back, to your spine, right? And like when we were sitting and breathing or lying back and breathing, everyone has a different connection and feeling to what's happening in their bodies, right? We might all have something that is similar, but we also have really unique feelings. And so just noticing what you notice. You could take your arms out wide. You could shift your body forward a little bit, right? So moving around, being creative. You could bend and straighten your elbows a little bit, warming up your wrists. You could flip them around so your fingers are back. Okay, so it's probably not very fair. I've already done this today, so I'm quite warmed up. Okay, I know sometimes when we rotate back and bring the hands down like this, the wrists scream at us. So if that's you, right, be gentle, go slow, notice. Right? If your wrists are screaming at you, it's okay to back off, be kind. And we'll do this for about 5 more breaths. And then we'll build your tabletop. Okay? So coming back to more of that traditional table, we're gonna walk your hands out just a little bit farther today, okay? And then we're gonna work a little bit on strength here. So right here under your shoulder blade, down through your tricep, okay, into your upper abdominals, all right? We're just gonna start to bend your elbows and straighten. Now, if you have the capacity to take your elbow all the way down to the floor, congratulations. See if you can go slow and incrementally, okay? So we don't want to just drop the elbow. We're waking up those muscles under the shoulder blades. Probably feel it down your posterior arm tricep, right? And if you're watching me, right, it's really important that we're not pushing back, okay? So we want this to happen more in the upper back, less in the hips, pelvis, okay? So we're gonna do about 3 more as you're incrementally bringing your forearms down. Maybe you're touching and then lifting up. Then come as far down with your elbows as you can with strength so you're comfortable, okay? And then you're gonna hold right there and really press your fingers down, strong hands. And then imagine there's like a block in between your elbows and you can just squeeze your block a little bit. We don't wanna be really winging out like this, okay? So elbows coming in towards a big block. Okay, it's a big block. And then we're gonna pause and just everyone again, reconnect to that place of grounding and stability. Where do you notice and where do you feel your breath? If you're feeling in your neck, I'm feeling it in my neck. I'm gonna tuck my chin a little bit and look down at the floor and see if that helps. 2 deep breaths. And then down, creates a press deep into your hands, strong through your hands, and let your elbows lift up. So you can either keep your arms out here, you can bring your elbows back down, or you can walk your hands back, right, into your table. We're just gonna pause again, find a nice strong table, and take 3 breaths with some intention into those muscles we just worked. So right up under your shoulder blades, into the back of your rib cage. What do you feel there when you take a big breath in? What do you feel under your upper back shoulder blades when you take a breath out? Learning to understand that feel of the breath in your upper back. Good, and then from here you have a choice. You can either press back to a child's pose if you want to take a little rest. You can float your knees up, hang out in a floating table, or you could go up and back and build a downward facing dog. So any one of those shapes, we're gonna pause in that shape when you get there and see if some of what we just worked on in that forearm exercise resonates in your body right now. As you press into your hands with lots of strength, right? You have a little different understanding or feel through your triceps, up underneath your shoulder blades. And then 2 breaths across your back, under the shoulder blades, into the back of the lungs. What do you feel? What do you notice? And then exhale. All of us will find tabletop again. And pause. Then we're going to just sit back on our heels for a moment. Bring our hands to our thigh bones. And take 3 or 4 or 5 breaths just to reconnect to our body's breathing. Just give yourself a moment to pause again and feel a connection, wherever that connection is for you in your body to breath. And then a full commitment exhale. We'll rebuild your table. Okay? So we're gonna do a trickle down cat and cow. Okay? So we're gonna build your table. You're gonna take a moment to define and feel our spines. Okay? So you have your skull, you have your head, right? And you can take one hand, right? And feel if you want. And come up and feel, there's some vertebrae, right? We could be really technical and name them, or we can just feel them and say, okay, there's like my neck vertebrae, right? And then you go down. I like to call this middle part like your backpack spine. And then we have your lower spine, okay? So if we're technical, it's cervical, thoracic, and lumbar, okay? So we have lots of joints, right? I like to think of them like beads on a string, okay? So we're gonna each go at our own pace. You're gonna start by tucking your chin. And when you tuck your chin, try to keep your head lifted and just move your neck vertebrae or your cervical spine. Then when you feel like, right, there's some awareness and attention, then you could go down between your shoulder blades and your rib cage, down into your floating ribs, down into your lower back. You might feel, there's my pelvis and my tailbone, right? And this is your cat. Just see what that feels like for you on a Tuesday around 12:15. Okay, and then we're gonna keep your cat and find your chin. And just let your chin pull up from your chest. And you're gonna go right into your neck or cervical spine and pause. And then go down your backpack spine and pause. And then go down into your lower back and your tailbone and pause. Okay, one more time from your head first, right? Trickling down, vertebra by vertebra. Might feel a little more like segment by segment, and that's okay. Just noticing the strength it takes to move through the vertebra, all the way down. And when you get to your cat, pause and then build your cow. So for me personally, when I think of beads on a string, I think of each bead like a vertebra moving. There's space in between the beads. They're trickling, moving. And it really takes quite a bit of patience and control. And then we'll rebuild your table. Right? Now we're going to start at your tailbone. We're going to start in your pelvis. So you're going to find your low back, right? So tailbone going up through your lumbar, low back. Pause. Then up, up, up through your floating ribs. Up through your backpack spine, through the back of the ribs. Right? Up into your neck and your head. And then from your tailbone, up through your lower back, middle back, back ribs, neck, head, you'll find your cow. And then you'll do one more, okay? Starting in your lower back. And then after you've finished your trickle, up and down cat-cow, we'll meet back in tabletop. And then we'll take that fork in the road again. You could take child's pose. You could come to straight arm downward facing dog, or you could walk your hands out and challenge yourself into an elbow dog, bringing your elbows or forearms down and taking a forearm downward facing dog, okay? Then when you build this shape, whatever shape you build, if you're in down dog form, I would encourage you to bend your knees. And then noticing your present time, breath to breath experience for 3 breaths. And after your third exhale, lowering your knees. And then we'll sit back on our heels so we can all come up nice and slow. And pause on your heels or come to crisscross applesauce, okay? So you can for sure sit back like this, right? You could have crisscross applesauce, right? If you have really tight hips, you might sit up on a block, right? You could bring your feet out in front of you, okay? I have fancy polka dot socks today. All right, so as you sit up, take a moment, let your body feel that grounded feeling again. So come on back, give yourself a moment to restabilize and anchor. And then the awareness of your spine, okay? So, right, if it's helpful, you can bring hands back there and we feel out your spine. Right? What's your spine feel like, right? There's your head and your neck. And we go down in between your shoulder blades, down into that lumbar area, into the sacrum tailbone, right? So now we're going to do a trickle down twist. All right. So we're going to start really slowly, like we did with the cat-cow, right? So we stay anchored and grounded. Okay. We're going to start back of the skull. So way up, right? That top cervical joint. We actually start with the second one, but right, you're going to spin. You could visualize, maybe feel vertebra by vertebra or beads on a string revolving around. You go down, neck, upper back, middle back. And then we pause. Your lower back doesn't twist very much. I'm not going to really encourage the low back to move. So nice way to check in is that your belly button's still facing forward. And then nice and slow coming back, right? Head leads the neck, cervical spine. Then at the start of your backpack, you might feel right between your shoulder blades and then down through the ribs. This one's really hard for me to feel, so we're all gonna feel something. Again, right? We're all gonna feel something similar and different. And if you're like, what am I supposed to be feeling? That's curiosity, right? And when we bring curiosity and that, like, what am I supposed to be feeling here into our practices, that curiosity helps us stay embodied. It helps us stay connected to the movement. Right? It also teaches us it's okay to have a little bit of uncertainty. It's okay to have a little bit, right, not knowing in our bodies, right? Trusting that, yeah, that's my neck revolving. That's my upper back and then like my middle back. Yeah, my lower back is nice and stable and then coming back around. So one more time, all the way around to the left. Right? Spines can revolve. It's like we're wringing out a towel. It can take as long as you need it to, so you have a little different, not totally full understanding, but maybe a little different understanding of the trickle down twist. All right, then we're going to take your arms out. Again, we're just going to pull the arms back a little bit and open up across the chest. So like we talk about, right, almost every Tuesday, we want to make sure that these ribs are drawing in and drawing down. So when the arms come out, we're not pushing the chest forward. We have a nice understanding now of the spine. So when your arms, right, go out, bring them back down. See if you can feel your spine, right? And it's like sitting neutral place, okay? So back of the ribs in your awareness. The back of the ribs could draw back a little bit, right? But the pelvis stays sitting up, okay? So when the back of your ribs draw back, we're not going back on the back of the sit bones, right? We're sitting up. Good. Ribs draw down, ribs draw back, and we're just going to take your arms out, okay? And we're going to see if you can feel your shoulder blades slide out to come up, right? And your shoulder blades move as your arms come down. We're going to do about 4 more, okay? So shoulder blade movement. You don't get to see your shoulder blades, right? Just like you don't get to see your spine. So spine and shoulder blades in our awareness. Arms only need to come down as high as your shoulders. Challenging ourselves to feel what we can't see. Can you feel the shoulder blades moving in relationship to the strength and stability of your spine here? Next time your arms come up, we're gonna hold. Okay, and then we're gonna just bring your right arm down, push down, okay, and then lift up and stretch over, okay? Left sit bone and left thigh bone stay really heavy and grounded. So, okay, finding that grounding in that left sit bone, we lift up, right, and side bend. Reconnect into your body to feel 2 full breaths. Full commitment, exhale. All the way back up. Okay. Left arm comes down. Anchors. Right sit bone. Right thigh bone heavy. Okay. Lifting up through that side body. Side bend to your capacity. Less can be much, much more for many of us. Come back up. Add a little piece onto this. So right arm's going to come down. Remember to keep your left sit bone anchored, left thigh bone heavy. So it's a lateral lengthy stretch, right? You're going to reach up, okay? Right ribs kind of cut in. You might feel that. Really lift up and over, okay? Right arm can really push down. So you might, as you push into this right arm, feel the shoulder blade behind you. Nice and strong on your back. Okay, then we're just going to spin your chest a little bit and look up if it doesn't strain your neck. How do you know if it strains your neck? You got to ask yourself, is this straining my neck? And if the answer is yes, then spin your head and maybe just look down at your right arm. Look at your right hand. We're all going to take 3 breaths. Full commitment, third exhale. All the way back up, left arm comes down, right arm reaches up. Anchor your right sit bone, lengthen. Side bend. Okay, a little spin up, right? So it's like I'm taking my sternum and rotating. Right? Maybe I take my gaze up. Then I'm going to ask myself, what does that feel like in my neck? When that doesn't feel so good to me, it feels good to you, yeah, stay there. But there's a lot of pinching on the right side of my neck and my ear. So I'm going to spin it and look down at the left arm. And we're all going to take 3 breaths. And with the third exhale, we're going to root down and bring your arms down. Great. All right, we're going to bring your feet out in front of you. Okay. We're going to slide your hands behind you. Okay. Now, if this hurts your wrists, right, you can always come up on your fists. All right. So we're going to start by playing the down creates up game. Okay. So what that means is you're going to find, right, your hands, they're connected to the ground. Your butt is connected to the ground, and your feet are connected to the ground, okay? So we're gonna play down. So you're gonna push down through your arms, lots of strength. Like you're gonna push the mat, push the floor down, push your legs, right? So your feet are gonna push down, and then you're gonna slowly let your butt slide up. And then come back down, okay? So we're gonna do this a couple more times. We don't all have to stay together. So, right, can you feel your feet connect all the way up to your hips? Your hands connect all the way up into the strength of the upper back. And you're lifting up a little bit. And then you don't want to drop your bum, so you have to really be in control as you lower. Good. So, a couple more. If you come up and you want more challenge, you could hold your reverse table. You could start to walk your feet out a little bit. Okay, now push down. Make sure you feel strong in your elbows and your upper back through your triceps. And you could push, right, your sacrum, that triangular bone in that low, deep back, up. And just hang out, right? If this is like, what? You are going to come way down here and be right here. All of us have a place to challenge ourselves. We're going to take 3 breaths. And with your third exhale, if you're in your reverse table, you're going to lower down. If you're already lowered down, we're all going to sit back up. And take your arms out really wide. Wrap them around your legs, spine like a cat, C-shaped spine. Drop your head a little bit, tuck your chin. Come all the way back to finding how you feel grounded. How do you feel grounded? Right? What helps find that place of strength and stability for you? And then as we seek and look for that, what does it feel like? That relationship of feeling strong and connected. It's that relationship to your breathing here, to your mind. 3 breaths. And then with your next exhale, we're going to sit up. Okay. And then we're going to roll back over to our tabletop. You're going to just build your strong table. And then don't think too much about it. Just let your body take care of you as you roll up into a cat pose. Right? And then look and feel out your cow pose. Just go through movement in relationship to breath, in relationship to strength. We'll do 3 more. And then after 3 more, we'll come back, right? Slow it down into good old-fashioned find your table. Okay, and then we're gonna push back into a child's pose. And then we'll just, right, in this child pose, bring your knees together, round your spine a little bit, reach your arms out in front of you, right? And then savor this moment or 2 or 3, and can we all just challenge ourselves to find grounding and then just feel your body breathe for you. So it can be challenging to slow down. It can be challenging to pause. And you pause for 1 more full inhale, 1 more full exhale. Okay. I'm gonna try this the best I can. Sorry, team. This is like the very best I can do. Okay, so we were down here, right, doing this cat-cow, right, pressing back. So you can move through and going slow enough, like when we were working on those trickle down, right, movements, like really paying attention to how your spine is moving. If you want more challenge from this place, you're gonna float your knees up and go to downward facing dog, okay? So you can come into your downward facing dog, right? And then pull yourself forward into your upward facing dog. And then with lots of strength, press up and back to your downward facing dog. Okay, you can do this with your downward through a plank to an up dog, all right? Whichever, right, exercise movement you choose to do, that relationship of staying and of your spine, can you also feel, right, not only grounded, not only your body breathing, but also the movement your spine is making, right? So you're probably going longer than I am because I cut out. So maybe just try 2 or 3 more. And then after those 2 or 3 more, slow way down, come back to a tabletop. And then when you get to your tabletop, decide if you want to go back into a child's pose or if you want to roll over onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. Okay, so you can pick either one. You can, right, press back and rest in your child's pose. You can roll on your back and draw your knees in. We're going to take about 5 to 8 breaths just to let your body slow down again. And so, right, being aware that sometimes asking ourselves to slow down, to let the bones, let the body find its pause can be really challenging, okay? So don't assume that just like pausing can be so easy. It can be really challenging. So finding that stillness place and then reconnecting to your breath. Good. And then after 2 more full exhales, we'll come back up to sitting. And when you come up to sitting, we're just going to bring your feet back out in front of you. Okay. So it can just be personal preference if you want to have your toes down or your toes up, okay? I'm going to have to take my toes out of the screen, it looks like, okay? So I'm going to sit up. I'm going to feel your sit bones nice and anchored, okay? And right, thigh bones can feel a little heavier, okay? We're going to hold on to the back of the legs and you're going to use your arms, okay? So remember when we started, we did that like kind of tricep tabletop, and that woke up, right? The triceps, and it helped us feel the back of the shoulder blades, right? Connect into your upper abdominals. We want to have all of that awareness here, okay? So elbows are going to be bent, right? And the elbows can feel a little light, okay? And then we're going to sit back. Now, when we sit back, heavy, heavy sit bones, right? Yeah, your spine's going to move a little bit, right? You're going to probably feel a little bit like a cat pose. And you're going to hold that cat-like feeling for a little bit, okay? And just pause. And then use your upper back, use your core to pull you back up, okay? So try a couple more of those. If you're a little nervous about rounding your back in this shape, you can go back a little more with that idea of being in a plank, right? Not a lot of rounding, okay? So we're gonna try 3 more. You can come back, make like a C curve, drop your chin, look into your belly, hold on to the back of your legs, and pull yourself up. Trying to stay, right, really connected through your heels and your sit bones. Last one. And then we'll all pull ourselves up. And we're just gonna sit up nice and natural, okay? Crisscross applesauce again, okay? Remember your trickle down twist, okay? So here we go. We're just gonna move first, right? From the neck. So neck spins around, going down those vertebrae, down in between your shoulder blades, down through your ribs, kidneys, pause. Low back doesn't twist a whole lot, so belly button still facing forward. When you feel your twist, pause and then anchor and connect back to your sit bones. Do both sit bones, right side, left side, have about the same amount of weight? Good. And then you're gonna bring your head and neck, upper back, middle back, all the way around to the left. When you get to the left, pause to reconnect to your sit bones and your thigh bones anchoring down. And then come back around. So we're gonna do one more twist each side. If you wanna let your arms go with you, fabulous. Or if you wanna keep your arms in stillness, fabulous, right? So some of us I know like to bring the arms around. You could do that. But when you build that twist on the right side, just pause for a moment and come in and really give yourself time to notice your experience, right? What are you feeling? What are you noticing, right? For example, I'm noticing quite a bit of tension in my neck. I'm also noticing quite a bit of tension down the left rib cage. And then when I feel that tension, my mind goes, well, what's wrong? So that's what I'm noticing, and nothing's wrong. Right? So what's your experience? That's what's really important, right? What is your experience as you go over to the left? And then when you get to the left, right? I know we're going slow, pause and notice your experience. And then coming back. Great, let's take your arms just out and up. And if it's comfortable for you, you can take your arms a little wider and just do some gentle side bending. And then we'll go one more time over to the left. You're going to cross your hands across the front of your collarbones and just pause to feel the breath here for a moment. And just let your hands be soft and receive your breathing. Stay nice and anchored through your sit bones. So you can feel that connection of your body to the earth. And then we're going to lean forward a little bit. And we're going to go over to the left and then back behind you, over to the right, and then back in front. Okay. So you can add as much rotational feel as you'd like, staying connected to that idea of strength, right? It takes quite a lot of strength to really move with fluidity. So again, just trust your body to make this shape. And then you'll come back around and go to the right. Try to keep both sit bones equally weighted all the way around, okay? So as you're going around, the weight in the thigh bones and the sit bones stays anchored. Sit bones don't lift up. And then you'll slow it way down. Okay. All right. Bring your arms just out in front of you. Okay. Round your back a little bit, tuck your chin. And just give yourself a moment to breathe through your back. Right. So we don't get to see what's in our back body. So for some of us, right, it doesn't feel as familiar as our front body. So being able to pause and breathe into the back helps build understanding and confidence, right? Helps us deepen that relationship, right, in those places of uncertainty in our bodies. So 3 more breaths through your back. And then we'll slowly come all the way on up to sitting. And then we'll just last minute here to anchor, release, find stillness, and breathe. And then reconnecting to what anchors you, what helps provide stability, what creates grounding, that relationship to your breath, and that relationship to your mind. We'll count. And when you feel, or maybe you've counted 5 breaths, you can just slowly start to wiggle around and let your eyes gently open. Thanks everyone for taking time out of your really busy lives to show up and take class with us. I hope you all have a really wonderful, fabulous day. If you're in Madison, it's really nice and warm today. Hopefully you can get outside. And it doesn't get dark till like almost 8 o'clock. So you can get out and get a walk in.